The Measure Development Report is a built-in retrospective report that tracks measure development and measure review activities. It displays the measure versions that are in development, under review, approved, or rejected within the past 30 days. To access the report, click Measures, Measure Reports, and then under the Other Reports, click on the Measure Development Report. You could also access this page if you're coming from your Home tab by clicking the Measure Reports tab at the top, and then you'll get to the same page. So click on Measure Development Report. The default view is all the measures and release cycles that are currently in development or under review, or measure release cycles that were approved or rejected within the past 30 days. The table shows the list of measures and release cycles meeting that criteria. The status stage, so you have development, meaning the measure started development but yet submitted to the CPC. You have under review, which is in yellow here, meaning measure has been submitted to CPC and is currently in between status of CPC review and then the PA is responding to those review. You have approved, which is in green, and this would be measure versions that were CPC approved, or if it's a POU measure, POU ready. And then finally, not shown here, would be rejected, and that would be in red if the measure version was CPC rejected within the past 30 days. And then finally, you have the change description column, which states the changes happening in this measure package. You can download the table as a CSV, and there's one particular useful feature I would like to highlight from here. So if you click on Download CSV, there will be a link sent to your email to download the file. Once you open the file, this is what the file will look like. It has all the information that you see from the ETRM interface of the report with some minor changes. So all the milestones dates are now in their separate columns for easy analysis if you would like to calculate the number of days between statuses. Now there is one particular useful column I would like to highlight, and it's this cover sheet column here. Once a measure is submitted to CPC, a URL link will appear in the column, which you can then copy. So let me scroll down to a under review measure. I'm going to grab this one, click copy. You could then go back to your browser and then paste. It will open up this cover sheet tab here, regardless of whether or not you have a measured row in this measure package and whether or not you'll be able to view the unpublished measure. And the cover sheet is a summary page that allows any user to get a glimpse of the upcoming but not yet published measure data, so you can anticipate any impact downstream of this measure package update. You scroll all the way down, you get various different informations like the trigger event for this measure package update, the target submittal date, so this is the date that the measure package is target to get submitted to CPC. Again, you have the change description, which states what are the different changes happening. And if you scroll down to the change attributes sections, you'll see if there's any data changes in terms of the labels, if there's new offerings or different or deletion of offerings, if you have a new UIDs or delivery types, all of that will be listed in this change attributes table. You scroll all the way down further, you get to the change impacts table, and this will tell you the changes happening to the measure impacts data. So just your savings, your cost, life, TSB, and then TRC ratios. It lists the value from the previous published versions and then the current measure version, and it shows you the changes happening between the two versions here. So that would be the cover sheet that would then help you. Okay, so there's a measure package happening. What is happening in this measure package? And this is where you would go for that. Now, going back to our CSV files, and then all the columns that are continuing to the right, those are just the various different columns that you found in the cover sheet that are basically printed and pasted in here as well for your view. Now, let's go back to the main report from eTerm. So as I mentioned earlier, the default timeline for this measure report is 30 days. However, you could go ahead and adjust that by clicking on Advanced Full Screen View here. Click Add a Filter, Timestamped, and then you can adjust that 30 days to another timeline that you are currently interested in. So if I go back all the way to the beginning of the year, I could do that. You could also add the other filter, which is status, and then if you just want to see either under development, under review, approve, or just a rejected